too late?
No, you're fine.
Nope, we're all back. Nothing's happened yet.
Did you get your coffee?
I did, yes. Thank you.
Perfect.
Swoosh. Yep. So now you should have, you can find in a chat the link to the YouTube channel when I am watching the stream. Does it work?
Hasn't come through yet.
Chceš to dát nejdřív, to dáš do prohlížeče a tím to zkontroluješ?
You can see that there's something there, but I don't actually have the link yet. It's just a black box.
Okay, I see. So once again, no. It's making the funny stuff that it shows the link, and if we like send the message, it blacks the real link.
Yeah, for me it works. I can see it.
Is it?
I can see 5 empty chairs, as you
Right.
Ah,
And if you refresh it, what I see now, it's just empty host desk and a mic with a black background.
I don't have the link yet. I guess it's taking longer to get to Canada.
Okay, I just got a message that what we are talking is heard already in that stream. So,
to the Czech Tourism Fórum 2021 held in Prague in Czech Republic on behalf of the organizers. The name is simple: winners and losers of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is Alex speaking. My full name is Alexander Komarnický, and I'm more than happy to be a part of this event. It will be in English. We have 90 minutes, so let us start the session right now. Panel discussion regarding meeting industry. So how has the MICE industry changed and how to organize hybrid events? First of all, thank you very much for coming and for being here with us. Even it is not so easy nowadays. All these restrictions and regulations, etc. Welcome everyone online. We appreciate you are sharing this unique moment with us as well. Hope you can see and hear as well. We plan to have a panel with questions from the audience posed throughout the whole discussion. So here we go. Please, if you are not online and not sharing the Slido with us yet, do so. You can ask either in Czech or English, depends on you. Let me welcome our very special guests for today. It's Matthias Schulze, representing Future Meeting Space and German Convention Bureau. He's with us online. Let me welcome Teresa Gatto, representing Hybrid City Alliance and Ottawa Tourism. Let me welcome Mr. Roman Mushka, representing Hybrid City Alliance and Prague Convention Bureau. He's sitting here next to me.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And Mr. Petr Meissner, the representative of Event Arena, one of the top organizers of hybrid events in Czechia. Welcome. Each speaker will have at the beginning approx 2 minutes to introduce himself or herself and the organization. Afterwards, we'll talk more detailed and ask you, the audience, about the questions to the topics related. Plus, we ask each speaker to make a short sum up. Once again, if you have questions, you can start asking right now. Please use Slido. You cannot see it, so I will repeat it once again. So it's Slido hashtag, and then you put in those digits 612928, or using the QR code if you can see it on your screens. Ladies and gentlemen, so how has the MICE industry changed and how to organize hybrid events? Let us start together with Matthias Schulze and his presentation.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for having me. It's a great pleasure to be part of today's online conference. I'm sending warm regards from Frankfurt. This is where the German Convention Bureau is headquartered. We run 2 more offices, one in Beijing and another one in New York City, in order to stay in contact and keep contact with our international source markets, which is more important than ever in these days. Of course, I have prepared a little presentation, and I start with the most often said sentence in 2021. I will share my screen right now. And this most often said sentence will be followed by the second most said sentence in 2021. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
You can see it. Wonderful. So my presentation is about the new now and what's next in the constantly changing business events industry. I personally prefer the expression the new now instead of the new normal, because what is normal these days? You just mentioned it in your introduction. Rules and regulations and the entire environment and frame conditions are changing on a daily basis. Business events, ladies and gentlemen, business events build trust. Business events foster international relations. Business events share knowledge, and business events drive innovation. Business events, or events in general, are as old as human mankind. Since we exist, we meet in order to trust each other, in order to share knowledge, in order to gain new insights from other peer groups, and in order to foster relationship between different groups. But if societies are changing, the way we meet, the way we collaborate, the way we communicate will also change. And I like to start my presentation with a movie which shows you about the evolution of the business events industry since it was invented. already back in 2015, so 6 years from today, we started an innovation alliance in cooperation with the Fraunhofer Institute, which is Europe's largest application-oriented research institute. And the idea behind this innovation alliance is to do research in order to find out how we meet in the future, how we collaborate in the future, how our working environment in the future may look like, how digitization and sustainability, for example, impact our business models. And this is what we wanted to better understand, and this is why we started the Innovation Alliance. And today, I'd like to share a few results and a few outcomes of our research with you. And I'm more than happy to discuss these research results and outputs later with you during the panel. The world is changing. This is something we are experiencing on a daily basis at the moment. And this is the world as we know it. This is the world as we knew it. This world map shows the moving pattern of all international rotating conferences which have more than 50 participants and take place every year in a different country since 1873. So this shows the moving pattern of 600,000 different congresses and conferences over almost 150 years. And this picture shows clearly what conferences are about. It's about connection. It's about crossing borders. It's about sharing knowledge on a global basis. And business events are so crucial and so important for every sector, for the science sector as well as for the economy. And over the last 150 years, more than 50% of all the international rotating conferences in the world took place in Europe. So Europe is by far leading the way when it comes to international conferences. And Prague, for example, is one of the leading conference destinations. I've been very often to Prague. I grew up in Nuremberg in the northern part of Bavaria, which is not so far from Prague, and I'm more than happy to return to this wonderful city. The sooner, the better. So what does that mean for our business in the future? So please keep this picture in mind when I'm going to share another video with you at the end of my presentation, because then we see how international rotating conferences and hybrid meetings can help to foster international understanding, to connect destinations in the new now, or if you want to say in the new norm. Just one sentence about Germany and its role when it comes to business events. Germany has a top image as a destination to host business events. We always ranked number 1 or number 2 in the world when it comes to hosting international rotating scientific conferences. And Germany was, until 2019, the leading country, the world, in the world when it comes to hosting business travelers. I didn't know that before I started in this industry. There's no country in the world that hosts more business travelers than Germany. There are no business traveler traveling more to either the United States, for example, or China than to Europe and Germany. So last year before, or the year before Corona entered all our lives, 3 million events took place in Germany with 423 million participants. That's an 4.5 time equivalent of our population, and clearly shows how important business events were and still are for the science sector as well, for the economy. So, and then suddenly Corona happened, and that's what we all experienced all around the globe. From one day to another, there were no face-to-face events taking place, and that led to a decrease, a significant decrease in the number of participants in 2020. In 2020, Germany only hosted 60 million participants in business events. During the first 2 months, in January and February, almost 30 million participated in business events in Germany, and the rest during the 2 lockdowns between the first lockdown in spring and the second lockdown in autumn. So, but what does that mean for our industry? When will business events recover? Will business events recover, or will business events transform? And that's an interesting discussion, which we can discuss later on. Maybe is it more about recovery, or is it more about transformation of our industry? And this is why we started together with 28 European countries. Czech Republic is also part of our network, together with 28 European countries and Oxford Economics, one of the leading research institutes in Europe. We wanted to better understand by when and how business events could recover in Europe. And first of all, we wanted to know about the vaccination and testing strategy in the different European countries on the one hand, but also in the most important source markets for Europe, like China or the US, for example. So we analyzed all these different status of vaccination and testing strategies in the European countries, but also in the most important source markets for Europe. We analyzed the official travel restrictions which are in place, and believe me, that was not so easy because they are changing on a daily basis. And we are not only talking about the travel restrictions published by governments or any other official bodies, but also by the companies and corporations, because they, of course, have to adapt their travel policies according to the official travel rules and regulations which are in place in the different countries. We wanted to better understand how business travel recovered based on other past events like September 11 or the world financial and economic crisis back in 2008 and 2009. We wanted to better understand the different recovery phases. Probably smaller national or smaller regional business events recover more faster than, of course, large international business events. And another thing which was very interesting, which we looked into detail together with the scientists, was the personal risk aversion. And you only have to ask your families and friends or your colleagues or peers. Some are ready to travel immediately to the next, to start the next business trip, and others are very serious when it comes leaving their houses and going to their working places. So, and this is what we also have to take into consideration. And last but not least, we wanted to better understand the long-term changes in demand behavior. We all now learned how to run and how to organize and how to attend online meetings. And what does that mean for the time post-corona? Will we then still stay at home and attend meetings online, or are we ready to go back and attend meetings in person? And here you can see this is related to the visitor spending, but we can also relate that to the visitors in general. So we expect, or Oxford Economics expects, with the upside scenario, a recovery already in 2023. So that means the year after next year. And the more realistic baseline, which I fully believe in, is the baseline scenario, which shows a potential recovery of the market between 2024 and 2025. And the downside scenario takes very much into consideration a long-term shift in the demand behavior, as well as a strong focus on sustainability. So that means that for a long time, we won't come back or get back to where we came from back in 2019. So some experts and some scientists say that they believe that business events in general will only come back by 80% of what we knew from 2019. So we all experience these different phases. So we experienced the phases where no face-to-face events were possible. We experienced the phases when some events were possible, or what, as we experienced in Germany during the last few weeks and months. We even had large exhibitions with more than 17,000 exhibitors and visitors from all around the globe. So the business came back, and we fully believe that there will be a renaissance of the physical event, a renaissance of the personal encounter. This will definitely come back. People are really looking forward to it. But at the same time, we all experience to work, to live, to collaborate, to communicate in the virtual zone. This will remain, this will not disappear, and the new now, the new normal, you name it, will then be something more hybrid. And that doesn't mean that every meeting will be a hybrid meeting in the future. It will be more fluid, and we will have different formats, different hybrid formats. And our entire societies are becoming more and more hybrid. And universities are teaching in hybrid formats. Schools are teaching in hybrid formats. Even if you go shopping, it's a kind of hybrid experience, because you go and to see a product, for example, touch it, feel it, look at it, but you will then order it online, for example. So our entire lives, our entire society is becoming more and more hybrid in the future. So what does that mean for the business events industry? On the one hand, physical meetings will be a smaller market, at least for a certain period of time. So we are experiencing it at the moment, and we will experience it next year and the next 2 years, maybe, that the market for physical meetings will be smaller. That doesn't mean that the entire live communication market won't grow. We believe that through digital products, through new products, through new players, through new services, the entire market has the potential to grow, but it will change in terms of quantity, but also in terms of quality. And quality means not bad or good quality. It means that the products and the market will have a new structure. And this is what we need to get prepared for. And this is why we do all this research and help our partners to create and develop new products and services, because for the time being, there are no physical events taking place. Of course, we can support and should support all these partners which are in this situation at the moment. But at the same time, we need to develop new products and services. On the one hand, the world becomes more and more digital, but at the same time, the world becomes more digital and the people work more from home. At the same time, people are looking for more emotional, more authentic, and more realistic and meaningful places. And that's in general the real places, that's the authentic places. Because if you have a great castle, for example, you can scale it many times online, but you can't scale real places in thousands of times. So there's a big difference between the real and authentic place and the scalable spaces online. And that makes the difference. And we have to learn how to use these differences within our formats. And we asked many business event planners in Germany, in Europe, and worldwide what they believe how business event participants will return in the post-corona. And they told us that they believe that 74% of all participants in business events will return by 2022 in physical events. At the same time, they told us that they believe that even almost 40% more people will return or will attend business events online compared to 2019. That clearly shows that the number of people you can reach with a meeting will increase. That means that business events in general will play a more important role post-corona than they did before corona. Then before corona, they were only focusing on 2 days, for example, in a certain destination. As of now, we learned and we experienced that business events can do even more. You can use digital platforms. You can create hybrid business formats. So business events in general play a more important role in the communication mix of scientific organizations and corporations in the future. That's what one of the key findings of our Future Meeting Space initiative was during the last year. And just for those of you who are interested in learning more about that Future Meeting Space initiative, we are publishing on a regular basis the latest results. There will be another publication which will be presented during an online meeting on December 15th. So those of you who are interested in it, please follow us on LinkedIn or just have a look at our website. And the results which we will present will be the results of the current research phase, which is dealing with the changing ecosystem of events. And we have created 3 different scenarios of how the business events industry may evolve within the next years. And of course, it is based on desktop research and focus groups and many other scientific methods, which helps us to draw a clearer picture of the current situation for the business events industry. And the most important influencing factors which will impact our industry within the next 3 to 5 years are a changing mobility system. The more important topic, sustainability, which is not an option anymore. We all followed the Glasgow conference, so we know we have to do something, and the business events industry has to support these initiatives which have been started in order to drive sustainability within our industry. So we collected all these different influencing factors, we analyzed these different influencing factors, and we tried to describe them to give a better understanding of how and what the main influencing factors are when we are planning events in the future. It's not only about hybrid events, it's also about digital peer groups. It's about, gamification, how gamification can help us to create better user experiences, for example. But it's also about a strong focus on sustainability and the environmental awareness, which also plays a role when we talk about hybrid events. And I'm sure that my colleagues who have initiated that wonderful hybrid alliance can share more about that most important topic with you later on during the discussion. And of course, the changing working world, the changing working environment. Many of us are working from home. Many of us are using so-called third places in order to do their work. So that means a third place is not the place in your office. It's not at home. It's somewhere in a hotel, for example, or in a convention center, or in a co-working space. So this is all changing, and that will also influence the way how we meet, the way when we meet, the way where we meet, and the way how we plan and structure meetings in the future. And before I close my presentation, I'd like to share one project with you, which was about hybrid conferences, or we called it a multi-site conference. That was conducted back in September last year, on September 3rd, with the support of large corporations in Germany, like Siemens, for example, or large global hotel chains like the Accor hotel chain from France, or many agencies and many other interested stakeholders who wanted to better understand how communication in a digital age may look like when it comes to business events and conferences. And therefore we started the business events conference, which we call BOCOM, Borderless Communication in the Digital Age. And the target and the objective of that test was to better understand and to experience borderless communication in a digital business world. We wanted to overcome borders of mobility, language, communication, culture, and workplaces. And we wanted to showcase and challenge technologies in that case in order to better understand how that works. We wanted to learn what works, and we also wanted to learn what doesn't work. And therefore, that was supported by the Fraunhofer Institute again, and we even analyzed what does these kind of conferences mean for the user experience of those who are attending remotely or those who are attending on-site in one of the destinations where we run our conference. That was Berlin, Amsterdam, Madrid, Shanghai, Tel Aviv, New York. So we had many destinations all around the globe which we interconnected with each other. And also, what we also did, we tried to get a better understanding about the CO2 footprint of a multi-site conference compared to a traditional conference. So that was also one of the outputs of our test lab. So I'm going to show you a little movie about the test lab before I come to an end.
We are live now to Vienna, to the Akku Hub in Vienna, and I see Michael and Sabine. Hi! And with us in the Hub Essen is Jan Paul Lahmann from the Design Office Hub in Essen. Hi, Paul!
Say hello, Amsterdam, to Berlin, Vienna.
Oh, yes.
Everybody.
Hello, Amsterdam!
And if we look back to the very first slide I shared with you, showing the roadmap and the moving pattern of international conferences and congresses since 1873, it's more or less exactly the same picture. But now it's real time. At the same day, you can connect different continents, different destinations, different people, different topics. So that was the idea behind the multi-site conference, which we called BOCOM. Well, that's it from my side. It's always easier to close a presentation with a quote from, say, famous scientists like Charles Darwin. He said, "It's not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change." And I'm so grateful to see that our industry is ready to change, that we are ready for change. And it's great to see that our neighbors, like you in Prague, that you are ready for that future, that you are ready for change, and that you are creating a conference in order to discuss that new normal or that new now. So for those of you who are interested in staying in contact with me, I'm more than happy to connect with you via LinkedIn, my favorite social media platform. And once again, thank you very much for having me. And I'm more than keen to learn and to listen to my panelists, co-panelists about their experiences and their ideas when it comes to hybrid event and the new now. Thank you.
Matthias, thank you very much for the great opener. Now, please let me pass the floor on Teresa. It's her 2 minutes now to introduce herself and the organization. Please.
Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Teresa Gatto, Senior Manager Business Events for Ottawa Tourism Business Events. I've had the pleasure of representing Canada's capital for over 15 years. Over the years, I've been very successful in collaborating with our stakeholders to secure citywide conventions within the corporate, association, and international markets, boosting the economy in Ottawa while supporting over 43,000 jobs in our local tourism sector, which is the third largest economic driver in Ottawa. I've also been very active and involved in Meetings Mean Business Canada, a grassroots advocacy group promoting the important social and economic impact of our industry to stakeholders and elected officials at all levels of government and to all Canadians. The pandemic certainly helped demonstrate just how invaluable our industry is. When the pandemic hit, it was evident that collaboration and partnerships were the best way to carve a path forward. I am very proud to be leading the evolution of the Hybrid City Alliance on behalf of Ottawa Tourism. This initiative, which I will speak a little bit more about later, is how I met Roman Muska as Prague as a co-founder of along with The Hague and Geneva.
Thank you very much, Teresa. You've mentioned Roman, so I would love to ask Roman Muska now to present his in short and his organization, himself and his organization.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. So as you heard, my name is Roman Muska. I'm the Managing Director of Prague Convention Bureau. My background's coming from DMC and PCO, where I started in 90s, last century actually. And well, with the Prague Convention Bureau, I am since 2016. So I experienced a lot in the past. The Prague Convention Bureau is the official representation of the city of Prague in terms of the MICE segment. So we are here to promote Prague as the ideal meeting destination worldwide. So being in touch with the meeting planners and global associations, helping them to get oriented on the Prague market and to help them to organize their events here. So that's basically it.
Thank you very much, Roman. And now, please, event arena, Mr. Peter Meissner, to be so kind and join us and talk now, right? Please.
Hello, everyone. First of all, let me apologize to Roman because I was supposed to join him in physical in the conference, but you know these COVID rules are changing the situation on daily basis, so that's why I'm connected online as well. Basically, I'm coming from Event Agency, which is on the market for 20 years, and even we've been through all those changes in 2008 after the economic crisis. I believe that what we experienced through last maybe almost 2 years was the biggest change so far. So we've been through those changes with our clients. We have to switch around all those our natures and really get new skills to support all our clients. And that's basically what Matthias mentioned in his presentation. Every slide, every bolded thing was something we've been through. So basically, I believe that's why I'm here today, to share with you guys those experience of our clients and us as an agency to get connect and to get you better understanding how these hybrids, online and face-to-face events can work together out of the borders of Czech Republic. That's why I'm happy to be here with Teresa and Matthias, because that's that hybrid city alliance that Roman is also representing. That's something which give us really strong platform to go through, because last time we met with Roman, it was on that Event Fest, which is event specified festival in Czech Republic, and we met there in person, and we were already talking about this hybrid alliance and how we can cooperate in that far. So I'm happy that now we have another option, another chance to talk about these topics with all those other panelists.
Thank you very much, Peter. I would love to encourage you to use Slido. We are collecting already some questions. Do you here in the hall have some questions right now? Okay, so maybe later. Teresa, maybe let us explain, please, what is Hybrid City Alliance at all, if you can.
Absolutely. Thank you. So take you back to the start of how it all came together, because it came together very, very quickly. Several years ago, The Hague and Ottawa developed a strong and successful partnership that would see us collaborating on a number of different initiatives and events. And then the arrival of COVID-19 events created an opportunity for us that we had to go even further and to seek out more like-minded destinations and create something unique with the Global Association Conference and Congress industry. The Hybrid City Alliance was created, paving a way for a new style, a new now, if you will, destinations to collaborate, relationship building, marketing, and client support for post-pandemic conferences. So initially, we're not even a year, we're coming up to a year when it launched in December of 2020. We did a lot of significant research and development activities with our 4 partners, Ottawa, The Hague, Prague, and Geneva. It became the 4 co-founding members of the Hybrid City Alliance, and it has grown from strength to strength ever since. Right now, we are currently sitting with 20 convention visitors bureaus from 24 cities across 15 countries, across 6 continents, all within less than a year. And we're very proud to have just received the Best Marketing Award from ICA last month at the International Congress. So we're very proud of this collaboration. And really what it is, it's an alliance that's founded on the principles of inclusiveness, collaboration, and confidence with like-minded member destination cities to encourage, promote, and facilitate the delivery of hybrid and multi-city events. And it's bringing together a streamlined and transparent approach to multiple locations and cities across the globe. And really, it's combining knowledge and experience from each of these individual cities, removing barriers and offering solutions that inspire a creation of unparalleled delegate experiences, looking at leaving lasting legacies in each destination, while simplifying the role for the professional Congress organizers, providing a one-stop shop and connections to all of the destinations and all of those additional suppliers within those destinations, because it's a membership of Convention Visitors Bureaus only. And by nature, Convention Visitors Bureaus are connectors to all of those within their communities and their ecosystem. So in a nutshell, that is what it is that we are connecting, and we're all still learning together and sharing best practices. This whole concept of hybrid events is still new for so many people. So what we're looking to do is pull those best practices, pull those resources together, and speak with. And we're continuing to learn, from Peter, from Matthias, and from other people within our industry to be able to pull that information, to be able to provide that information to our clients as a resource, and to provide those solutions.
Thank you very much, Roman. On your point of view, please, what are the benefits of being a member?
Well, I can just say that fully agree what Teresa said and what previously said Matthias. So we are now, in the learning process. So and learning new experiences. For example, today, for me, it's brand new experience being in a panel and being here, alone in front of the audience and have all the panelists connected virtually. But being a member actually of the Hybrid City Alliance is a great addition, not only in terms of promotion of the destination as leaders, in the hybrid, when it comes to hybrid, but it's important also to support the community of convention bureaus, open the debate, the discussion, not only among various destinations, but also, the communication with customers. So international associations, PCOs, as well as corporate clients. So we are all undergoing brand new experiences, and it's important to have the continuous debate. So Matthias is doing a great job and, putting together great data, which are very important. What we can see, I think, also the opinion of various stakeholders, of clients, is changing based on their experience. Because, their opinion 1 year ago or 6 months ago might be different to the opinion of nowadays, because they've maybe through all the time they experience virtual events, hybrid events, etc. So they are now having another opinion than they had before. Thank you.
Right now, thank you very much. Right now we received via Slido a question related to this topic. So you both, Teresa and Roman, can answer. What are the plans for the future development of Hybrid City Alliance? Teresa, maybe you, if you can start, please.
Yes, absolutely. As Matthias was saying earlier, this whole concept of hybrid isn't going away. And so what we're in the current process of doing is actually organizing a multi-hub city FAM trip for the beginning of next year. So with the aim of having a white paper created at the end of it to really be able to share the lessons that we've learned over the last couple of months in the planning. We've already had to shift our thought process and move things around a couple of different times as we are learning and growing and developing this event. But we really recognize that there isn't too many examples out there right now due to travel restrictions still as examples for a multi-city hybrid event. The ICA Congress obviously has done it for the last 2 years, and we look to that for best practices as well. But really to develop our own event, to be able to demonstrate how that can happen and have a white paper that is going to illustrate that, and obviously to continue to share our best practices as we move forward. we see that the Hybrid City Alliance is going to grow. We still have destinations that we are currently in conversations with that want to join the alliance, which of course will only strengthen our knowledge, our innovation, as we are able to have more conversations with more global destinations. You know, I agree with Matthias, this isn't something that is going to go away. It's going to evolve and it's going to look different. So the more people that we can bring along that journey, the more are welcome. So we're certainly engaging in those types of conversations, and we feel that the Alliance will continue to grow as the industry begins to come out of this pandemic and looking a little bit different.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Would you, Roman, love to add something?
Fully agree what Teresa said. I think I've mentioned it before. It's learning process. So there will be more events besides of the one Teresa mentioned for the beginning of the next year. So we would like to continue to in the debate using various opportunities like international trade shows. IMEX is the last experience in US where there was a session on this topic, but also in the future, IMEX Frankfurt or IBTM Barcelona. We'll be definitely happy to continue this to continue in this discussion.
Thank you.
Well, and I'd like to add a sentence, if I may.
Please go ahead, Matthias. Of course.
Teresa said a very important sentence about inclusion. So hybrid events do follow a very inclusive approach. That means that you do not exclude someone who is not able to travel to a certain destination in order to attend an event. Someone who cannot avoid to travel to attend an event, or someone who is not allowed to. So there are so many reasons why people are not ready to attend events. So I like this very inclusive approach of hybrid events when it comes to not excluding someone. That's the one thing. And the second thing, which I believe is something which we all learned over the last 18 months, it's all about co-creation and it's all about collaboration. No matter where you are, it's Germany, Italy, Czech Republic, Canada, let's cooperate in order to create solutions. We need those cooperations, cross-border cooperations, cooperations between continents. So that's what really makes things happen. And in a more global world with more global problems, we need global approaches and cooperations and collaborations. And this is why us, together with the IMEX group and the PCMA, created the so-called Open Innovation Platform Response Room. So you're all invited to visit the Response Room. It's free of charge. You can just submit your challenges, and the community helps all of us to find solutions or answers to the challenges we are facing. So, and this is something, this is also why I was more than happy to accept today's invitation for your conference, because you're exactly doing that. You're bringing people together with different backgrounds, from different countries, with different perspectives, trying to find solutions. And only together, I believe, we can achieve to find those potential solutions for a brighter future.
Thank you very much, Matthias. I have one question for you. We received it via Slido, let's say 20 minutes ago. So, Matthias, do you think that somehow it is possible to do MICE and promoting destination in the same way as in pre-corona era?
No. No, just kidding. But I'm pretty sure that destination marketing will change and is currently changing. The way how we approach our customers, the way we reach our customers has changed simply due to the current situations we all have to deal with. We have new tools in place. We have digitization is helping us to tell another story. Digitization helps us to reach other and new clients and potential target groups. So I'm pretty sure that destination marketing is undergoing a profound change in the future. And many of these aspects have been mentioned already by Teresa and by Roman and Petrus. So I think this is something we have to further develop in dialogue with our customers, because it's not us developing something customers are not asking for. And another good thing, if I may say so, within the pandemic is that we learned to rethink and reschedule and reinvent the dialogue which we have with our customers. And this is probably how the Hybrid City Alliance has been started or invented because you had dialogues with your customers, and your customers had the same problems as you had, but from another perspective. So let's put that together. Let's be partners. Let's cooperate. Let's co-create, and then we can find solutions and new business models, because that's what it is about.
Thank you very much. As you already mentioned, this is the new now. One question for Peter, please. What do you think are the biggest challenges that the event organizers will be facing in the post-corona times? Peter, please.
The biggest challenges would be to really educate our clients that whatever demands they have, they can be accomplished. Basically, now it starts with the top safety of the event when you come into when it comes to face-to-face event. When it comes to online event, it's about top data safety, and we have to really our job is to really learn, educate our clients and all the associates that really it can be accomplished, and they shouldn't be scared of either of those options, because we never stop meeting. We always will tend to meet with someone, even if it's in person or if it's online. We still have that urge inside of us that you want to share your idea, that you want to have some opponent for whatever opinion you have. So the biggest challenges would be really to provide the whole scheme of whole model of those events for our clients, to show them that we are able to cooperate, because not only the Hybrid Alliance working in between the countries, but also those hybrid alliances should be happening in each country. For example, there should be a little meeting going on in Prague, another one in Brno, another one in Ostrava, and these three can connect again to Germany, to Canada, to Ottawa with Teresa and her team, and they can have this local meeting. So all together, it can be one really complex meeting, and we should really to compare whether it's the purpose of meeting, if what works for it is the face-to-face meeting or if it's the online, because there were new things raised up, as Matthias was mentioning. There would be these green lines will be very superly watched. There will be people who wouldn't be able to travel. There would be people who wouldn't prefer to travel, and all these things will come complex in one really complex model, which we should be all educated about, that our clients should know that there are such possibilities. Our job is to present to them, and if they are choosing, for example, they want to hold their event in Germany, Canada, and Prague, that we should be telling them, okay, we know there is such an alliance who can accomplish that, because we organized event in 2010. It was 5 countries, and we were doing this hybrid event, but what was very complicated to send technical team to each country to make sure that they will connect their sound, they will connect their picture, and they will entertain the team of those 300 people in each country. We were really renting a huge media server, really, in a size, it was a huge thing. But these days, you just give a call to Teresa. I tell her, okay, I need a destination, I need a venue for 300 people. And then I get together with Roman and ask him for support with another, for example, with Haag, that we should really be able to present to our clients that we have these options, that they can stay local, but be holding events in global, that meeting in person, it's safe in all those levels which need to be covered, and meeting online is as well safe in when it comes to data safety and content safety, because they are not asking, can you, Peter, can you just stream somewhere, but can you stream somewhere safely? Our data, because they are sharing their strategies, they are not just sharing the cooking lessons, they're really sharing their business models, and they want to have safety feelings from that. So this is the biggest challenge, to really introduce to our clients that we are already, we know what we are doing, and we are here to support them whatever they ask for.
Thank you very much, Peter. Would you guys love to add something? Teresa, Matthias, or Roman? Just raise your hand, please, to make me know if... Okay, Roman's hand was up. Please.
Okay, I will start before Teresa. So, I fully support what Peter just said, but I think it's important to mention the technology is here. So the knowledge from the technical part, from the agency side is here available. We just need to really find out how this will work in the best way for the client, because I think it will be wrong to mention that either hybrid or multi-city hybrid is a perfect solution for any type of event. No, it's not. But we have now more choices. The clients, they have more choices. But definitely there will be some events which will be needed to do like on-site, real events. When it comes, if you look on the MICE segment, so for example, in terms of incentives, I can't personally not imagine an incentive trip for employees to be done virtually. I think they will be not really happy of that. So another big question mark is with exhibitions, for example. Matthias mentioned that they are exhibitions returning back. So the feedback from various associations is that in case they switch to virtual events, the exhibition part when it comes to virtual was not actually the most successful one. But there are actually some pluses of these virtual exhibitions as well. So that's for larger debate. So there are various solutions for various types of events, and we need to consider them. We need to just discuss with clients what are their expectations and what we can, and we will then bring the solution to them, because different expectations will be from corporate clients. So they will rather go, towards the, let's call it TV show, rather than the association clients who are really, more focused on sharing the content, on having a platform which is really user-friendly, etc., etc.
Thank you very much, Roman. Teresa, your hand was up as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, thank you. It's interesting what can happen when we're forced to change, right? It's, when COVID hit, we were all forced to do everything online. We had no choice but to embrace change. Change is never easy. But from that, what we're seeing is so much in the way of different thinking, so much innovation and trends that are happening. In the last 18 months, I've heard a lot of conferences, that obviously have gone virtual. Their attendee numbers have increased. Well, why is that? Because we go back to the inclusiveness. There's people that either didn't have access to conferences to attend in the past, or organizations didn't have the money or resources to send 2 or 3 or 4 people to a conference, or it just wasn't possible for them to attend for a variety of different reasons. So what we've seen now is more people having access to content, to networking, to learning, to collaborating. And so when we go back to full in-person, face-to-face numbers, because it will happen eventually, this is where, when you hear people say hybrid is here to stay, this is the component that is the biggest challenge moving forward, is how to now maintain that new audience that you have acquired over the past 18 months. Those people are not just going to not want to not learn anymore, not want to connect, not want to collaborate with people. So we have an opportunity in the business events industry to embrace that and to harness that opportunity to increase our knowledge and share that content out further. And that's another opportunity with the Hybrid City Alliance, in that you have multiple hubs. So people who can't travel or even weren't able to travel before still can, even though those in-person numbers may go back to where they were post-pandemic. It will take a while to get there. It will eventually get there. And so, you know, just imagine yourself being able to live stream content from around the world, and conference organizers may never have thought of having that as part of the conferences moving forward. So you could be in Prague listening to somebody speaking from South Korea, listening to someone speak from Malaysia. You're live streaming that content in to a variety of different hubs. I think that that is going to enhance your product offerings, and what that's going to do is help being able to monetize hybrid events, which is also something that's very, very critical, because content is king. So if you can provide content that has never been accessible before within your conferences, then you should be able to charge more for those virtual events. You should be able to monetize those and have those conversations, because you are offering something that's unique and that has never happened before.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Matthias, it's your turn now, please.
Thank you. Just adding that from a destination's perspective and from a client's perspective, that's what we learned. 83% of all business event planners say that they believe that the expertise in a destination, the scientific and economic expertise, becomes more and more important, because they want to link the topic of the meeting with the expertise which you can find in the destination. That means in a more and more virtual world, it becomes more and more important to look for that destination which really fits with the content of your conference. And hybrid events can help to run multi-site conferences in different destinations in the world, and you always look for the best fit between the content of your conference and the expertise of the destination. Just giving you one example, if you want to run a conference on renewable energies, for example, Germany is a great country which can help you to push this topic. And within Germany, we have certain destinations like Freiburg, for example, which is a smaller, medium-sized destination, but they are real experts in renewable energies. At the university, they teach renewable energies, about renewable energies. They produce solar panels. They do research on renewable energies, and so on. If you choose this certain destination for your conference with the topic about renewable energies, then it will be definitely more authentic, and there will be more benefits for those who attend on-site physically, and those who are linked through, different other technologies in different destinations all around the world. So, and that helps us to be more specific and more focused with conferences in the future, because we are focusing not only on accessibility when it comes about how to bring people from around the globe to one certain destination. It's not only about, it is about accessibility, but it's also about content and fields of expertise in the destination, which could link or fit with the content of the conference.
Thank you very much, Matthias. I saw also Peter's hand up. So you opened basically the topic. Please close it if possible.
Yep, because basically it all comes together in one thing. When you say event, when you say that you are going to some event, first thing which comes to you is some emotion. Is it going to be educational event? Is it going to be social event? What's your experience? And that's what Teresa, Matthias, and Roman just described. We can all cluster it together when it comes to emotions, because there will be people who, when it comes to educational event, you decide, okay, you're fine with that experience in that online and attend such a conference online. But you would be passionate about these renewable sources, and you would be rushing half over the globe to end up in Germany to see it on your own eyes. And that's what supports what Roman said. There are experiences which cannot be shared online. On the other hand, we should all think about those experience of those who are attending online, because that's what spreads the audience. If you just watch in the telly, basically, and you have no whatsoever chance to interact, you would be bored after half an hour. That's all we all experience that in the elementary school, how it works. But if you are part of the event, then you are fine with that. Then you will attend a conference which takes 3 days, and we have such a proof in our agency. But there are some where you really want to go to see the Prague. You cannot stream the Prague Castle, but when you come to the Prague, when you are on-site event, then you can enjoy this, let's say, exclusive content. And what Matthias was saying, that there are some hidden, you can be traveling a couple times to the same destination and still finding something new, something else, which was preset in those previous sessions in your conference earlier, that there is still something to find. And that's what will come those demands from those attendees. They will have strong demand on specific program which brings the emotions. So there are emotions online, but there are emotions on site, and we should remember both. My closing.
Thank you very much. An additional question just received via Slido. Apart from online conferences, what other online events are among the most popular today? So is it possible to see any trend? Peter.
Yes. After the last really year and a half, we experienced basically all. We've been cooking together. We've been having a tour guided online, but there was a lady in her city walking people down the street, and they were texting her where to turn, which shop to visit. And it was pretty fun because she was more like a puppet journey. There are events when people are really having brainstormings online. It's something, it requires some tools, but these are happening on a daily basis. Launching of a product. There are beautiful cases all around the world where there were launches of some product online. And because you were through the camera closer to the product than on the on-site event, of course, you have special experience that. And if you were sent it a package with a sample of that product, it hits the thing a couple levels up. And when it comes to extremes, we were having like online event for our client when they were last Christmas having like game online, which included the whole family. So it's not like for those company and associates, but also their families. And that's when the online events really start working. And what was the outcome? A couple of those people connected with their families abroad on a very Christmas Eve through the Teams. So really, we are taking it as a regular tool in our lives. So, I mean, there are hardly events which I cannot imagine can be held online. Of course, with those pros and cons when it comes to specific types. For example, what Roman was saying, I mean, incentive travel, you will never have that experience of diving down the sea if it's camera through the lens of a camera of a diver. You want to do that yourself. So that was the limit and will be till the future.
Thank you very much. I'm more than interested if we somehow can push the limits forward. But let me hand the floor on Teresa right now, because her hand was up.
Thank you. Yes, Peter is exactly right. It's more about the experiences more than ever before, and how to connect how to really plan 3 conferences at once, because you are managing the virtual platform and managing the in-person platform, and what we know is innate in all of us as part of the industry is we know how to plan in-person events. It's something that we know how to do. We've done it very well. Over the past 18 months, we've now learned how to do it virtually because we had no choice. Now the challenge moving forward is how do we integrate the two? And that's where there's opportunities to work with our AV suppliers and partners and collaborate with them like we've never done so before, to understand the opportunities that exist to be able to connect those. And in the planning of, something, a little bit of an aha moment that a few of us have had this past week in planning our multi-city FAM trip in the beginning of the year, is that we were thinking about it wrong. You almost need to think about the online virtual component and what's possible, and use that to then create what your in-person event is going to look like. So it was completely different than what we were originally thinking. And so now that we've had conversations with other industry people that are in the hybrid realm and starting to do a little bit more and learning some of their best practices and collaborating with them and understanding what that looks like, because there's opportunities to have those connections and that engagement like Peter was talking about. We need to create that emotion, and people still need to feel like they're connected even if they are virtual. And so there are many opportunities, and then we will share some of these as we go through in our white paper that we're going to create after. But hopefully people in attendance for the multi-hub event in the beginning of the year will be able to share some of those experiences too. But just incorporating having somebody speaking into a camera on site, for instance, is something we've just learned, but speaking to somebody who is on the virtual platform. So like they feel that they're speaking to that person. So that engagement is something that I think is the newest part and the challenging part for our industry to figure out how to do that.
Thank you very much, Teresa. One general question for each of you. It's a short one, so please, short answers if possible. 2021 global crisis. We are talking about COVID-19 pandemics, but there is also a climate change crisis, gender discrimination, child labor and trafficking, refugees, car chip shortage, global energy crisis, food insecurity, and so on and so on. So which is the worst, in your opinion, with regards to MICE and hybrid events, and why? Please, Matthias, if you can start.
Well, I would turn the question around, not which one is the worst. They are all worse. They're all bad. And what can business events help to solve those challenges? And business events can help because business events are platforms to bring together people in order to drive change and in order to find solutions for exactly that topics you just mentioned. It's all awful and bad topics, but business events can help to find the right solutions. Business events can help to bring people together. And this is what business events are about. And when we talk about technologies like hybrid events or online events, it's only technology. And what I've learned from today again is that behind these ideas and technological solutions, we always have real people behind it, like Peter, like Teresa, like you, Roman, in Prague. You together, you make it happen. It's not the technology, because the technology does only what you want the technology to do. And this is what we all have to understand, that business events are platforms to drive innovation, are platforms for social and economic transformation. And the way they will be conducted is more or less not the most important thing. The most important thing is that we create a purpose, that we create a topic, and that we create meaningful events. And therefore, I'm more than happy and thankful that my esteemed colleague from the Czech Convention Bureau, Teresa Matejkova, invited me for today. Teresa, you are a real role model when it comes to pan-European and cross-border collaboration. That's what we need. And then we choose the technology.
Thank you very much, Matthias. The same question, Teresa, if you have something to add.
I'm going to say ditto almost to everything that Matthias said. I agree with what he said as well. And I think meeting with purpose is very, very important moving forward. All of those things that you mentioned, I don't think that there's one that's any worse than the other. The challenge is obviously, as meeting professionals, we need to incorporate all of those into our decision-making process, into our objectives when we are planning our conferences, and make sure that we're not just talking about checking boxes, that we are in fact implementing those changes and inclusiveness that needs to be in place when we are creating the virtual or in-person component to our conferences and business events. That we need to have those incorporated, and we need to continue to ensure that business events take place, that they happen, and they are absolutely the platform for change and innovation. So those conversations and collaborations still need to be happening, but we need to make sure that those topics and concerns that were brought up are part of the conversation all the time.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Roman, your opinion?
Well, I think everything has been more or less mentioned. It's not about tools. We have the tools available. It's about the content. It's about to open the debate. Doesn't matter which topic we would like to discuss. So we are here just to support actually the communication on various topics. So that's what we do. That's what we do at the Hybrid City Alliance. That we do within the meeting industry. And yeah, all of us, we are sitting here, and also the audience. So this is the very great example, as Matthias mentioned. So we are, all here, thinking about the future, how we can help, how we can learn from the current status.
Thank you very much. Peter, are you on the same page with us?
Yep, I have something extra to add, and it comes to financing and funds. Imagine either topics of you mentioned, there a person behind that who wants to present. And when you look like 5 years ago, having someone online was like, okay, why he didn't come in person? Why he's just sending a video? Why he's just connected online? And we kind of disrespected these. But on these days, when you are somewhere presented online, we fully respect such a person. And that what helps these topics, that you can be not in some beautiful, convenient conference area, but you can be on the very spot when the issue is going on. You can have little web camera, you have little microphone, and you would be fully respected and show the other ones around what's the issue going on. So it helps when it comes to financing to really present these topics and these issues to wide public to get really the all around the globe help. And that's where I support that these tools that Roman was mentioning are really helping, but we have to do something. That's what mentioned Teresa, and it comes in a cooperation. That's what mentioned Matthias. We are really on the same page.
Thank you very much. Any questions here from the audience among us? Okay, I received 2 a few minutes ago via Slido again. Which of the influencing factors that will be shaping the future events are, according to you, the most important ones?
Well, we did a megatrend analysis already back in 2013, and the 4 most important megatrends were digitization, sustainability, mobility, and globalization. So if you take all these 4 megatrends into consideration, then you clearly see that they impact our business events industry, because it's a global industry. We are using resources, and the world we are working in is changing, and it's becoming more and more digitized. And that, of course, will impact mobility. And so these are, from my personal perspective, the 4 most important so-called traditional megatrends, which will impact our industry not only for the next 5 to 10 years, but 20 to 30 years, which will impact our lives on a personal or private as well as on a professional level, and which will impact all of us on a regional, national, and global level. So that's more or less the 4 which I see as not the most important, but the ones which will impact our industry directly.
Thank you, Matthias. Please show me your hands if you would love to add something, Teresa, Peter, or Roman, just to make sure we can stay or move to another question. Okay, no hands up. So one other question. The topic of the conference is winners and losers of the COVID pandemic. Where, in your opinion, stands your organization? Matthias, please continue.
Well, I wouldn't say that we should talk about winners and losers. We should always try to find win-win situations. That's what we all are looking for. And in these specific situation, it's about change and the readiness and the willingness to learn and to try new things. And I can't tell you right now who the winners and the losers will be. Of course, for the moment, if you take everything into consideration, there are less planes flying, there are less people staying at hotels, and so on. Of course, that's the current situation, but we can't change it for the moment. but it's about the future, and that's what I understood from your conference, that your conference is about the future and how the business events industry in the future may look like. And then we all have the chance and the opportunity to create new business model, to create new services and products, and we have to test it and we have to try it. And I think it's about the readiness and the willingness and to be able to cooperate and to collaborate and to learn. And therefore, I'm a big fan of the management approach, which we call ambidexterity. So that comes from the two Latin words ambo, which means both, and dextera, which means right hand. So you need to do everything at the same time with your left and right hand, meaning you have to optimize your current business. You have to be in contact with the customers to optimize your products and services. You have to earn money in order to pay the salaries for your staff, for example. And at the same time, with the same power and the same energy, you have to ask yourself whether the products and services you are offering are still state of the art. Is there anything else out there which you could learn from, which you should learn from? Can we learn from other sectors? And I think what we can do, we can learn from other sectors. We can learn from the TV and entertainment sector. We can learn from the gamification sector. We can learn from the startups. We can learn from so many sectors, and they can learn from us. And that's what it is about, I would say. And this is what we are focusing, bringing together different sectors, different mindsets in order to create new opportunities, products and services.
Thank you very much, Matthias. Teresa, please, winners or losers? What is your opinion? I expect the answer already. I can see it's something in between, as Matthias already mentioned, that it has to be win-win, but still, please.
Yes, it's very similar for sure. And my approach to losing, and something I always try to teach my son as well in his competitive sport, is that you never lose, you learn. So you either win or you learn. And I think this past year, we've all experienced some kind of loss with, the loss of business and that type of thing. But how much have we learned over the past 18 months is absolutely incredible. The fact that I've been able to network and collaborate and learn from 24 other global destinations and cities is just absolutely phenomenal, and something that may not have happened in the manner that had happened with the Hybrid City Alliance over the past 18 months. And the majority of those people I have never met in person before. And so, the first time I'm probably going to meet any of them is in Frankfurt, in IMEX next year. So, Matthias, look forward to meeting you there as well. But that's winning and losing. I think it's a perspective. It's how you look at it. It's all in how you react to it, and you're in full control on how you react to those situations. And as an industry, I think we have an opportunity to embrace the changes that have happened this year. And I'm sure that there are more things that are going to come out as silver linings that we haven't even recognized yet or even experienced. But I think definitely the silver lining from this past year is, we've always been very good at talking to ourselves as an industry about the economic impact that we have. Certainly the world now knows just how invaluable the business events industry is and how much we impact the economies that we meet and do business in. So I think that is a pretty big win for our industry, for everyone to have recognized that over the past 18 months.
Thank you very much. Roman, your perspective, please. Is it a win or run?
Same as Matthias and Teresa, so we are somewhere in the middle. But really, I fully support what Teresa said. So it's about the learning process. I mentioned this already several times. So without trying, so you are not moving further. So this was also when we discussed a year ago the co-creation of the Hybrid City Alliance. We said, so is there anything we might lose with that? No. So we will try it, and either it will work or not. And we see that there is another, 20 cities joining us at this initiative. So probably we were not wrong, and we will see how it will develop in the future. So I think similarly it is also when we talk about the international associations. So there are many examples of associations who are still insisting on face-to-face events, not willing to move either to hybrid or virtual. They are trying to postpone their events, even though it's not possible to postpone it to forever. And it's a question, so who will be the winners and losers? So there will be definitely, and there are those who tried hybrid, and they learned. It was big school for them. They learned a lot. So they learned by their failures. So definitely. But I think it has been also appreciated by their membership, by all the attendees. And well, the question is who will be the winner? Whether those who will be waiting for the best practices and will applicate all of them after that in I don't know, 1-2 years when organizing their own events, or whether they will be the losers as they will lose, the engagement with their members, etc., etc. So I think only time will show us, but I fully support, learning by doing. So that's what we do here.
Thank you. I'm expecting a fourth similar answer now while passing it on Peter. Anyway, maybe Peter will surprise us. Let's see.
Probably not so, because we are really humble students of university, of COVID, and we just passed the exams of the last year. That's where we are right now, because we are not sure what's ahead of us. We kind of expecting. We are pretty skilled, all of us, and that's what Teresa was mentioning, that even that this COVID thing spread people apart, it somehow brought closer those ones who are supposed to cooperate in their field. And that's what I see in our agency, that even though we never ever 90% of those never saw a camera before, and all of a sudden, year and a half later, you have a bunch of people who are pretty firm with that. What's the high D? What's the full HD? What's the K4 format? And how to connect all these things? And that just shows that we are willing to learn, that we are ready to change, that this is something which is not revolutionary. It's just kind of evolution, something which Matthias was opening with at the very beginning. So I would say that we are really all humble students looking ahead and waiting what the next year exams will be about.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions here right now, please? If not, let's make one short, or let's ask one short. And again, I'm expecting 4 short answers, please. If you close your eyes and just imagine, please do so. It's an ideal world. Imagine the future, let's say 2121. Can you describe your vision how the mice industry will change and how the hybrid events 100 years later? Matthias.
Oh, sorry, the line is very bad.
It was
I hope not to say that sentence in 100 years. I pretty much think that in 100 years, we recognized the value of personal encounters. And then in a more and more digitized world, the personal encounters are the diamonds in the communication between people. So if you really want to feel it, if you really want to experience it, you have to meet in person. But technology helps us to bring together people from all around the globe, to drive innovation, to find and identify solutions for the challenges mankind is facing, probably also in 100 years.
Thank you very much. Teresa, please.
That we are a globally inclusive industry that is the biggest economic driver in the world. That's my vision.
Great. Thank you. Roman.
Well, 100 years ahead, we try to look, 1 year ahead. So what will be the future? But in 100 years, I would wish that in 100 years we will be still living our real lives, not being in some well, universe, having 3D glasses and living some artificial worlds, which will be definitely created, but we will be still living real lives, meeting each other, and this applies also for the meeting industry, definitely.
Thank you for your answer. And before I ask the same thing, Peter, your event arena. I'm pretty sure in a couple of next years, maybe not in 100, but in a couple of next years will be, as Matthias already mentioned, not only to have, and Roman as well, not only to have the 3D glasses, we will be able to smell the atmosphere, to touch. We have all these tools nowadays available. What do you think in 100 years regarding your events?
I think we all learned over the past 18 months that no matter how good you get online, but get a firm handshake and have a glass together, it's above all of that. So I believe we still, I mean, there were a couple crazy movies about how the future will be, and everything was digital, and you didn't have to go anywhere because your house was talking to you. You got all those supplies in front of your doors, and we just learned that this is not something where we want to go. So I believe that in 100 years, we would have these tools on our tippy toes, fine at the fingers, end of their fingers, but we still will appreciate the in-person meetings. For those who would love to connect online, let's give them this freedom of that. But I believe that we would do the same thing, but with the bigger, in my ideal picture, we do it with a bigger respect into our environment and surroundings. So you can go somewhere, but it doesn't cost so much in these renewable resources, and so I believe we go smart, not digital but smart.
Thank you for all these answers. Hope our children and grandchildren will be able to push it this direction. Matthias Schulze was one of our guests representing Future Meeting Space and German Convention Bureau. Teresa Gatto, Ottawa Tourism and one of the Hybrid City Alliances. Roman Muška, Hybrid City Alliance and Prague Convention Bureau. And Event Arena, Petr Meissner, one of the top organizers of hybrid events in Czech Republic. Thank you very much for being a part of this event today. Thank you here. We spent a great time together. After all I have heard and seen today, I'm pretty sure we make it together. So keep fingers crossed, and as our neighbors in Germany say, toi, toi, toi.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
See you next time again. We're looking forward.
Thank you.